Well, welcome back, folks. It is now time for your Xfinity cars here on Racers Elite Network to go around a road course tonight. As you can see, we are here at Road America. Nice little 66-degree weather with 87-degree track temperature. So we got a fun one. We have a long one. So settle in. This one's going to be a nice one. I will be in the booth here, John Rawson, along with me as always. Russ, how are you doing tonight?
Oh man, it's been a day, but I'm here and ready to watch these guys take on this 4-mile road course at Road America tonight.
Yeah, and take it on they will. As you can see, this is a 4-mile track as those drivers are out on the track right now trying to get around this thing. They're going to do it just in a little over 2 minutes. I believe the fast time now, Brandon Honeycutt with a 2:16.27. So just a little over 2 minutes, 45 laps around this place. Looks like we were talking to Andrew earlier, and we're about 12 and a half to 15 laps for a pit stop here. So they're going to have to come in more than one time tonight to be able to get around this track with the fuel that they've got in these cars.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch these guys take on multiple green flag pit stops because this being a road course, there aren't any cautions. So all the pit stops these drivers are going to have to make, they're going to be under green. And Road America doesn't really necessarily have that bad of a pit road entrance, but as we've seen many, many times, it doesn't matter where you're at or what car you're in, pit road entry can be tricky for drivers.
Yes, and it does look like we're going to have about 14 drivers that are out here on the track tonight. This is the last race prior to our playoffs that are going to start. So we have 5 more races here in this season, and I want to bring up for you, I'm going to see if I can hide this track map. I want to bring up our points that we have going on so far for the year, and we do have a pretty tight battle here, Russ, for that cutoff line. Jesse Fox, who had a pretty nasty battle last night trying to make the playoffs in the truck, is at it again tonight, only a point above the cut line. Aaron Marquis is going to be only 1 point away, but not only will he be only 1 point away, so is Matt Jarrett, 2 points away, and Aaron Roth at 30. I don't believe Aaron's going to have a shot at being able to get above that cut line, but these 4 drivers, remember these names. Actually 5 drivers: Ryan Coker, Cooper, Jesse, Aaron, and Matt Jarrett, all are going to be fighting for that last transfer spot. And I do believe that we have all of those drivers out here tonight. I do see Cooper here, Jesse's here. So this is going, Aaron Marquis is here. Jarrett is here. So this is going to be a battle for that last transfer spot into the playoffs.
Yeah, we saw it last night with the truck series. They took on the dirt track there at Eldora. We saw Jesse trying to work his way in, and he ran into some problems. But here at these road courses, anything can happen. If you can just keep yourself clean and keep your incident points low from having off tracks, you get some guys having to maybe serve some penalties. Anything can happen. You can gain spots from that. So keep your car clean, keep it on the track, and you might just find yourself locked into the playoff.
Yeah, and this is going to be a pretty interesting track, folks, as you watch. Road America has some really long straightaways, so there's going to be a draft component into this, but it also has some extremely high-speed turns. And so for tonight, we are actually going to have a track map. It's going to be the first time that we're going to use that, but when you're coming around a track that is 4 miles long, Russ, I do believe that the track map is going to help us see where these drivers are. And what you're going to find out, we're going to pop that up right now. And you're going to see that long red line that goes through that front stretch. That is your start-finish line. And then the other red dots around are just going to be corner calls. And you'll be able to see that based on the position of that driver. And what we're going to do is highlight the card number of each one of your favorite drivers, and you'll be able to see where they're at there on that track map. But I've ran quite a bit here at Road America, and I can tell you, there are 2 pretty high-speed right-hand turns after that start-finish line, and then you go into what is almost a hairpin turn back to the left. So a lot of tricky corners here, Russ, but one of the things I really want everybody to watch out for, you can see that kind of rounded turn there, and that is going to be your higher speed turn that's going to have little to no grip in these Xfinity cars. They try to navigate around it. I think that's going to be one of your trouble corners.
Yeah, that carousel is it's a higher speed type of corner, but with these Xfinity cars, you really have got to watch your throttle control going around the carousel there. But I've been watching these drivers through practice and qualifying, and some of them look like they're having some hard times in certain areas of this track. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're able to keep their cars underneath them tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait to get this race going. And again, sit back. We were going to discuss our playoff picture as they go around this track again. This one is going to be about an hour and 45 minutes. And so we're going to have plenty of time to talk about that, where everybody's going to stack up. And then we can have a bit of a conversation, Russ, on how this playoff picture is going to look with these 4 races. We'll talk about each one of those races as well as we go through the night. But we're here with you for the duration. And let's see if we can't show you what our race, our qualifying results are. And Brandon Honeycutt is going to take your pole. That's going to be at a 2:16.149. Fantastic lap there. Truth Hoke is going to be second at half a second behind. Sean Dunaway is going to start third. Sean, your points leader so far in this series, had a fantastic run last night in the trucks on dirt. Cody Benelli is going to be fourth. Lee Campbell in fifth. Aaron Roth sixth. Sean Merriman is going to be in seventh. Cooper's eighth. Watch out for Cooper. He is one of our drivers that is looking to jump into this playoff series. Matt Jarrett as well trying to get in, and Andrew Tepp's going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, then Aaron Marquis and Jesse Fox, Kirby Wainscott, and Ryan Coker are going to round out the field here tonight. But John, something I wanted to talk about, we see Brandon Honeycutt up there on the pole. I think back a few weeks ago in the Truck Series, they ran at Lime Rock Park, and Brandon kind of walked away with that race. So he's definitely going to be one to keep an eye out for tonight. Obviously on the pole, looking to do it again here in the Xfinity Series. That's going to be my pick for tonight, John.
Yeah, and that is a great pick for you. As I look through this, I will tell you one of the drivers that I haven't really picked so far this season, but that is going to be your points leader there in Sean Dunaway, is going to roll off of this grid in third place. I've seen Sean run quite a bit in the trucks and in this series, and I got to tell you, nice and smooth, I believe, is what's going to win this race, and he certainly has that ability. So that is going to be my pick tonight. But I will tell you, we're going to have some fuel strategy that is going to come into play here. So anything can happen, and one slip, one off track, because you see just a little bit of fog starting to creep in over the track, but just one little slip up, and that could be the end of somebody's night. If they hit these outside or these retaining walls at the high speeds, especially here into this turn, that could spell real death for them, as they're going to have to tow.
Yeah, you get one. These guys get one fast repair, so you get one mistake. But like you said, if you have to tow, that's a couple of minutes extra that you're sitting on pit road, and it's precious track time that you're losing out on. So these guys are gonna have to keep between the lines, keep it on the track, and hope to make it to the end of this thing.
Yeah, again, I do believe just to be able to show the panoramic view of this track, we are going to go with a little bit more of a ticker design tonight. As you can see, these drivers going around. Truth Hoke going to be quick. He had a great run last night. I believe he finished fourth on dirt in the Truck Series. He is a staple here at Racers Elite. And then you've got Cody. That's going to be right behind him. Sean Dunaway's right there. Lee Campbell, we did not see him run the trucks last night. Good to see him back in the Xfinity Series. Aaron Roth again, Sean Merriman, and Cooper, Andrew, and then Aaron Marquis. Those are really that 7th, 8th, 9th area is where these drivers that are going to be fighting for that playoff position are going to start this race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting watching them, seeing if they're going to be able to make their way up to this field and hope to lock themselves into the playoffs for that Final Four battle.
Yeah, and again, we will pop that. We're going to pop this track map up for you when everybody gets rolling. I do believe that track map will come up for us. And so that you can see where everybody's going to be out here on the track. Now, if you get what's the plan, Russ? Are we really looking to save some tire and save some fuel? If Honeycutt can get out front and get a pretty sizable lead, is he just going to try to put this thing on cruise control and not make any mistakes, or are you going to just keep pushing and try to get as big of a gap as you can? Because if you have a splash and go here at the end, you'll have enough time to get in and get out before you get past.
Yeah, in Brandon's case, I think it's going to be try to get yourself out to a manageable lead. If you can get yourself out to a couple seconds, something nice and comfortable. You could kind of, back it off, save the tire up a little bit. Like we said earlier, these things are getting like 12 to 15 laps to a fuel run. It sounds like so. 45 lap race, you're looking at two, potentially three fuel stops here. So guys who are starting in the middle of the pack, they may try to sacrifice a little bit of tire to try to get themselves up towards the front for a chance at making a run at this thing later in the race.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, and you have to assume that these Xfinity cars are going to be a little tail happy right in the beginning, as you see these drivers really trying to get some heat in those tires. But they're going to be a little tail happy for the first couple of laps, and then after that, they're going to be able to settle in. These Xfinity cars do tend to get a little pushy, so we will keep an eye on that as we will go and bring you every one of the off tracks that we can find and see when it pops up on our scoring pylon. But they are going to take this final turn, and we are going to get ourselves ready, as now you can see that Porsche pace car starting to pull up, and any time that he ducks into that pit road, these drivers are going to be able to go. You can see that elevation change coming out here on the front stretch. Here we go, Russ, 45 laps here at Road America in these Xfinity cars. Brandon Honeycutt bringing them down. Flag is in the air. Off we are tonight.
Guys are going to battle it down into turn one. Are going to see they can make it clean through turns 1 and 2 here.
You can see everybody starting to jockey for position already, trying to get that outside line, because that drive off of that turn is really what's going to be able to propel you forward just a little bit, as it looks like Brandon Honeycutt able to get nice and clear. Andrew Teff making moves early on in this race. He is already underneath of that 60 of Lee Campbell. And I believe if he does not have any drafting help, he might not be able to get that pass going, as the 18 is going to tuck behind the 60, not give that 98 any draft help. Now, this is going to be a heavy, heavy brake zone here coming up for these two drivers that are side by side. Andrew's going to get into that really hot right on the quarter panel of the 19. Everybody looks like they're going to be able to make it through here clean. Andrew Teft on a mission early in this race.
Yeah, we got one going around towards the back there. The number 18, Sean Merriman, goes around coming through that left-hander back there. But
Yeah, let's see if we can
so
take a
far,
look at it.
pretty clean.
Oh, and it looks like he's just going to get loose under braking. That is a pretty high elevation change, so he's just going to get loose under braking there and loop it around. No damage to that car, so I think he is going to be just fine. And it looks like Aaron Marquis showing as crashed as well. Yep, same thing there, Russ. Just getting up over that hump underneath of that bridge and just getting loose.
Yeah, that corner there is one of them tricky ones, because it's just like when we back a couple weeks ago there at Lime Rock. They got that one corner that comes out to that uphill where you can get really kind of loose if you're under full throttle, and that with that being a braking zone plus the uphill, might not be too surprised to see quite a few spinouts in that corner here tonight.
Yeah, that is true, and it does look like that 01 of Sean Dunaway starting to creep onto the rear of Truth Hope. That gap about a second back, but it does look like 60 of Lee Campbell has caught back to the draft of Andrew Teft. And I apologize here, folks. I said we were going to be able to show that track map, but it doesn't look like the track map is actually working for us right now. So we'll try to reset that in SDK as we go along for the night and try to pop that back. But we're going to keep up with these battles, as now we're going to go back just a little bit. Lee Campbell was on the back end of that 98, and now you can see Cooper in that 30 starting to stretch it up, and he is going to get a much better drive off of that turn and going to get to the side of Lee Campbell, and I believe he's going to have enough momentum to make this pass.
I think Lee just got a little bit wide through that corner, had a little bit of extra brake in there, which slowed him down a little bit, allowed that 30 to get right up there alongside of him.
Lee is going to fight back on that inside with that preferred line. The 30 with just a little bit of a blinking issue. Lee is going to pull back out in front, as it does look like behind him, Aaron Roth is going off track under that heavy braking zone.
Looks like we've also had a change for second. Looks like Sean Dunaway got around Truth Hope there for second.
It does look like we also show Aaron, as we saw Lee. For some reason, we're looking at trees. There he goes. So we did see Aaron get that off track a little bit earlier, again in this heavy braking zone, and you can see that elevation change just coming down, and that car really under hard braking. No harm, no foul there. Aaron Marquis we show as wrecking as well. I believe we're going to have the same scenario that we had before, just under heavy braking, and he's going to be out of control before he even gets to that turn.
Yeah, these cars are tricky to run on these road courses, John. I mean, they want to spin out on you very, very quickly under heavy braking, and there's a lot of heavy braking zones here at Road America.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the 18 car. Just again, I don't believe he was going to be able to slow that down either. Did not want to get into any kind of contact with that 41 car. So we're going to come right back up here to the front, as it does look like Brandon Honeycutt now with a 3.24 second lead on your second place driver, Sean Dunaway. Like you said, was able to make that pass, get around Truth Hoke, and he is going to come down. And these are two of the really high speed turns, as they are wide open, trying to hit this, and this is really where you need to feel the left side of that car really grab some bite there, Russ. And as you can lay the power down, but if you cannot feel that, you're just going to slide through that turn and slow yourself down.
Yeah, like you said, these cars tend to get really pushy after a few laps, and yeah, being able to make sure you feel that bite, that is paramount and key, because if not, you could lock them up, push right off the track, and put yourself in a pretty sticky situation.
Andrew Teff making those moves early. Now it looks like Lee Campbell starting to come back. Fought off that battle from the 30. It does look like the 30 was able to sneak by him, as you see him just go through your right-hand side of your screen, but he is coming back around Andrew Teff. So the 30 and the 60 making some moves, getting back by Andrew. Andrew still up 3 positions from where he started, but put Andrew back to 6th place, and Lee now is going to take over 5th.
Yeah, great run so far by both of them drivers. Then don't look now, because Truth Hoke is starting to run back down Sean Dunaway again for P2.
Yeah, that draft really helping Truth be able to stay on the back end. And it looks like we do have another crash reported from Aaron. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened. Again, I believe this is going to be the exact same spot as earlier. Yeah, so that's just going to be, it's just a tough area for him. And look, he's just going to, you can see the front wheels just chatter on that car, as he's just a slight over braking issue going into that turn. Russ, that's creating that for him.
Yeah, and that's multiple times that's happened. So I think what he needs to do is maybe start backing that corner up a little bit more. Start your braking a little earlier than what you have been, because obviously, you're overshooting it. You're braking, trying to brake too hard, too late. You're locking the tires up. You're getting wheel chatter. Maybe try to start backing those corners up a little bit, and see if you can start making that corner a little bit better than what you have been.
Yeah, going down this high-speed front stretch. Now, I will tell you, that lead now cut down to 1.5 seconds. So, and Sean Dunaway now going purple that last lap at a 16.43 to Honeycutt's 2.18. So, he was able to pick up almost 2 seconds that lap on Honeycutt. So, it will not be long if that continues, where we're going to have a battle here for the lead.
Yeah, Sean's obviously found something right now. He's closing that gap on Brandon, but it could also be that Brandon figured, hey, I've got a 3-second lead. I'm going to go ahead and start saving some tires, saving some fuel, maybe. Like I said, you get that car to a manageable gap, you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody Benelli now starting to put some pressure on the back end of that 98 car as he continues to slide back to some of these other drivers.
Sorry, John. Sean just went off track down there in that heavy braking zone, too. Just gave up P2 to Truth Hope again.
Let's see if we can find out what. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Same spot that it looks like everybody's starting to have problems with. He was running your leader down. Now, Hoke is going to take over your second place, 3 seconds behind Honeycutt. So what was a great, fantastic few laps, Russ, just gone in an instant as that driver just, again, under that heavy braking zone, just slides right off of the track.
Yeah, one thing we got to keep in mind, too, we haven't really talked about it yet. This track has a lot of sand traps around it on these sharp corners. So as these drivers keep going off track, and coming back on, they're bringing marbles on, which are going to make these corners even slicker than what they already are too.
Yeah, that is a great point. And we're going to see where these lap times are going to fall once Brandon Honeycutt, your race leader, right now up 3.7 seconds over Truth. I do believe he has got some pace over Truth. I believe Sean was pretty quick as well there. But with that off track, you do that once or twice. And just like we talked about before the race, that could spell disaster for you.
Absolutely. Just get yourself into a nice smooth rhythm. Run your own, run your own race and run what you're comfortable with, and yeah, it should be fine. But one off track, one slide through the grass can really, really hurt you for this race.
Brandon Honeycutt still your leader. Now the gap is 3.5 seconds. That last lap, a 2:17 to Truth Hoax 2:18. So about a second faster. And again, we're going to go right back here to this battle where it looks like Andrew's still under fire by Cody. That gap now only about half a second. As you can see, Andrew really struggling to find a little bit of pace around some of these turns. And again, this could be a matter of tire saving, fuel saving, just like you talked about. There's a difference. If you're wide open, I believe Andrew said that's about a 12 and a half lap fuel load. But if you're saving, that's 15 as whoa, the 19 getting a little bit loose there. So again, just that downhill is really what's creating some trouble for these drivers.
Yeah, it's a really high speed section on a downhill coming to a sharp 90-degree left hand turn. That's going to be one of the major problem areas for this entire race.
All right, it looks like that battle is going to start slowing down just a little bit. We're going to start taking a look at some of these off tracks. Let's go back and take a look at Sean Merriman, and let's see what's happened to him. Sean in this 18 machine, just getting in there a little bit hot. He's all good, and it does look like Cooper got an off track, and let's see what happened to Cooper. Yeah, not that big of a deal for Cooper either. So we're going to go back live. Just a couple little off tracks, getting those left sides out. This is a pretty high speed straightaway as well. You will see that S in it, but these cars are going to be able to go wide open through that area, and this is going to be another heavy braking zone where, like you said, there's that sand trap right over there to the left. If those drivers slide off of that a little bit, that's a 3 to 4 second loss.
Yeah, these sand traps, you get down inside of them, and yeah, it slows you right down. You can lose a lot of time.
Yeah, Cooper continuing to march forward, now taking over that fourth place from Lee Campbell. So put Cooper up yet another spot. This 30 driver is on a mission tonight.
Yeah, making laps, staying clean, running his own line, finding some speed somewhere, and yeah, moving on up to the field.
Yeah, Cooper sitting 11th here in the standings. He was about 6-7 points away from Aaron Marquis. So I believe that this drive here, he is driving to keep himself eligible for that chase. And in his current position, he's going to be able to make that happen. Now, we're going to check back in on Jesse Fox. It does look like Jesse had to go to the pits. I believe he is back out now. He probably took that fast repair. He currently is sitting in 13th. And he, again, is 1 point above Aaron Marquis. Now, Aaron is a position ahead of Jesse Fox in 12th. Russ, so this is a tight nip and tuck battle here for that playoff line.
Yeah, tight battles, man. You just need to make sure that you finish this race and hope that the guy that's in front of you has a little bit of some kind of a problem or something to help get you into this playoff.
Yeah, you can see Aaron's got a little bit of left front fender damage on this vehicle, as we do show that he went off track. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened to Aaron. As again, this is another, he already had that left front damage, and this again, just a lot of front brake in that car, a lot of bias in that car, creating that over rotation going into those turns.
And all these slides and spins, and it's not doing you any favors on your tires either. So, you get loose, you heat these tires up, and It's going to take you a lap to be able to cool them back down again.
Yeah, Honeycutt still your leader, still out front. 6 laps already in the books. And as I just continue to look at this, Ryan was another. I'm sorry, Matt Jarrett, another one of those drivers, only a few points off of that cut line. And Matt, I believe, has parked that car for tonight, Russ. So without him getting back on track, unfortunately, I don't believe he is going to be able to put up much of a fight for that final transfer spot into the chase.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, not sure what happened. It doesn't look like he started the race at all. So maybe he was just out there practicing and said, "Man, this isn't going to work for me," or something. I'm just going to take it to the hauler and enjoy the night.
Yeah, Ryan now back on track. I show another off track for Sean. So let's see if we can take a look and see where this 18 driver, yeah, again, just under throttle, it looks like, was able to loop that around, but he did get this thing right back out on the track. So really no harm, no foul for him. This battle is going to continue to wage on as Cooper is still only holding about a half a second lead over Lee Campbell. So Lee looks like sometimes he'll make a couple of little errors and get past, and then for the next few laps really gets that car dialed in, stays right on the back bumper of that person that's passed him. So, and he is doing that here with Cooper, putting a lot of pressure on him, trying to take that 4th place back.
Yeah, trying to see if he can get him looking in his mirror, maybe make some kind of a mistake that where he could capitalize on it and have a spot back.
Now that distance between those two drivers, let's see if we can pop up a battle box. We can pop up a battle box. That works better than our track map does, folks. It doesn't look like this track map is going to work. However, as you can see, you can see that driver that we are highlighting there in Lee Campbell. Cooper in front of him by 0.3, but right behind him, less than a second, is Andrew Tefton, that 98. So Andrew might have been saving tires, might have been saving fuel, but he is certainly coming back to these two drivers, and now he is looking very, very sporty as he is going to gain 2 to 3 car lengths here just under heavy braking.
Yeah, I've been watching him for like the last lap and a half or so, and he's been able to take these corners a little quicker than some of these other guys have. So I don't know if he's been saving, like you said, saving tires or something, and now he's got the extra tread to push it a little bit. But yeah, Andrew looks like he's coming in a hurry.
Yeah, Cooper not concerned too much about that tire wear as he is going to get sideways out of that turn coming down the front stretch. You're going to see there is the start-finish line. So again, draft in a big, big way. Oh, we show another crash here by Aaron Marquis. Let's go back and take a look and see what has happened to Aaron as that damage on that front end continues to grow, Russ.
Yeah, it's been a tough night again. You know, this left-hander causing him some problems. He's had multiple problems with that corner all night long. That front end's all kinds of crinkled up. He's seen better days, I'm sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, I believe he's probably just waiting to get himself into the pits during that first stop that we will probably see anywhere between lap 12 to lap 15. And we'll keep an eye on that as this is still your tightest battle out here on the track. Cooper in front of Lee Campbell. Andrew Teft now starting to breathe down the back of Lee Campbell. Allowed him to go, I think, a little bit. Might have been able to save a half a lap to a lap worth of fuel. Now starting to push again as he is caught back up to these two drivers. And we have a 3-way battle here for 4th position.
This is going to get interesting. You know, there were about 4 to 6 or 7 laps here looking for green flag pit stop. So trying to get as many positions as you can before that pit stop hits, and hopefully you can, maybe jump these guys on pit road too if you can't make any positions up on track.
Yeah, Andrew certainly taking that tighter line through that turn, was starting to give a short little peek underneath of Lee, is able to tuck himself back in line. But these three drivers really nose to tail, using the draft to stay tight. And again, this is one of those heavier braking zones here. We do not see, Russ, really those dives that you normally see on road courses. Everybody really being respectful. As you can see, the debris just kicking up through that turn from all of those drivers that have been able to get off track and put debris on. I do show another off track by Sean. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Sean. Yeah, same. I do believe that that is the same place. Oh, and it looks like Lee Campbell was able to get around Cooper. Let's take a look and see how this 60 car was able to sneak by the 30. No, that just looks like a little bit of a blinking issue on our scoring, but it does look like Andrew Teff now is going to take a look underneath of Lee. Down this long straightaway, he is there right on the quarter pound. He's going to use just a little bit of a side draft to stay on the right-hand side.
I have that preferred line one in the one there.
Yes, he did, and it does look like Lee is just going to kind of back off and allow Andrew to make that that pass. And oh, and it does look like our leader shows as a wreck. What has happened to Brandon Honeycutt? It looks like he just ran off of the track there. It showed a crash for him, but looks like that was just... Oh, we got a driver, the 41, in front of Brandon, causing Brandon to actually stop there on the track. Wow, that is going to be a time killer for him, Russ. Is now that gap looks like to be about 2.2 seconds now.
Yeah, it cost him about half of his lead right there. Truth, he was, he was about 4.5 seconds up on Truth. Running in P2, now he's down to about 2.5 seconds.
Andrew Teft now has found something around this track here at Road America. In these Xfinity cars, he is going to try to blow by, and he does. He's going to get right back by that 30 car. So Andrew back on the move to the front. Now put Andrew Teft up 5 spots from where he qualified. So he has found something here, Russ, that he likes, and he is turning some really quick lap times right now.
Yeah, just getting settled in, like we said before. Maybe saved a little bit of tire, and now he's got some extra that he can play with. And he's been a little extra aggressive on certain corners, but definitely found some speed somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to keep a look at these lap times and keep informing you on where they're at as they go around this track. And it does look like these three are just still going to keep a blanket underneath of them, as the 30 car, still with a little bit of a blinking issue, is not going to allow Andrew Teff to get too far away. Lee Campbell still putting pressure on the back of Cooper now. And again, we are now 10 laps in, folks. So it looks like in a couple of laps, it's going to start playing out as a pit stop game, and who has the fuel to do it, who's going to have to go short to try to jump somebody. So we're going to see a little bit of a strategy start to play out here.
Yeah, for sure. Pit stops coming up. You take 2 tires, 4 tires. You take your 4 tires, maybe take 2 tires later on in the run, because like we said, 2, maybe 3 stops. So it's going to be interesting to see how these pit road strategies play out. But there's one thing I did want to point out too, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, but I think that 30 car there, Cooper, I think he's looking for sponsors, John. So anybody out there looking to sponsor an Xfinity driver, this guy looks like he needs one, I think.
I believe that has been all season long, looking for a sponsor. And I can tell you, this has been one of the fun series to watch in these Xfinity cars. They handle a lot differently than the next gen, than the trucks do. The straight axles in the rear with the big track bars. These cars start out super loose, and then they tighten up as these runs go along. But they're very, very sensitive to tires and to tire wears. Now you can see the 30 starting to work back to the rear bumper of Andrew in that 98 car. But as we go along, this has really been a fantastic season. When we look through where we're at in the Xfinities, we really have 3 drivers with 2 wins so far this year, and that's Sean Dunaway, Brandon Honeycutt, who is your leader right now, Truth Hoke, who is running second, and then Andrew Teft with 2 wins as well. So those drivers have amassed your wins for this series, and they are really tight in points. And then you've got Lee Campbell, who you can see here on the screen, is extremely close there in 5th place. He has had 7 top 10s so far this year. So this 60 driver, just a picture of consistency this year.
That's a big thing with these, with these series and stuff, is that if you can be consistent and get top 10s, top 5s, you don't need to be out there winning every week, but if you can at least put yourself in the battle, with these top 10s, top 5s, you're going to find yourself with a pretty decent season at the end of it.
Yeah, and as we look ahead just a little bit, as it shows that Honeycutt now up 9.3 seconds over Truth. Truth had another a difficult lap at a 2:20 lap. Sean Dunaway with a very similar lap as well. So those two drivers starting to struggle a bit, giving up about 4 seconds to Honeycutt that last lap. But as we look ahead a little bit to the playoffs here, Russ, we've got Dover coming up, completely different track than it is here at Road America. Concrete, really high bank short track. These Xfinity cars are going to be an absolute handful there at Dover. But that's going to be your short track specialist. You have to think that Andrew Teft is going to be one to watch. He has had a lot of success so far this season, especially in the trucks running those short tracks, but he has proven to be a great short track racer. Brandon's going to be fast. Sean Dunaway is fast everywhere he goes. So I think that those three drivers are going to be the ones that if I were to point to going into Dover are going to be the ones to watch out for.
Yeah, 100%. Andrew, like you said, he's proven to be that short track specialist, and I think he's going to be a contender in the first two races because after Dover, we go to Nashville Fairgrounds, which is another short track. So I think Andrew's going to definitely be a contender in those first two races. Then you go to Daytona. Anybody can win at Daytona. So, and then the season wraps up in Kansas. So there's two short tracks, a super speedway and an intermediate. And it couldn't be quite a different playoff.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're going to have whoa, and it looks like Cooper is going to get his tires, that left side tires, off into the grass, and luckily was able to steer that car back out on the track. And now we do have. Let's go back up front, as it does look like your leader now, with 11 laps in, is going to decide to come in and pit. So he has calculated this out. And if we do the same thing, he is going to have to make, an extra lap on one of these pit stops. So he is going to come in. Truth Hoke is going to come in. Sean Dunaway is going to come in. Now I want to take a look and just see if we are going to change any tires. I do know in the next gens you try not to change tires when you come in. You don't want to waste the time. But it does look like on this Xfinity, Honeycutt's left side already up. Let's see if this right side is going to go up. Yes, he is going to take 4 tires and full fuel on this pit stop.
Probably not a bad call. All the slipping and sliding and getting tight and pushy and getting a little bit of everything out there. You definitely want the better tires that you can get.
Yeah, this Dr. E. Nuff 13 machine down pit road, back out. And it does look like the majority of everyone else is going to be in. Sean Dunaway, as we talked about before, is in. Cooper is in. He is now coming out. Cody Bonelli in. Aaron Roth in. So all of those drivers coming in early. Now, as we talked about before, that is going to turn this lead over to Andrew Teft. And we were kind of contemplating, Russ, a little bit earlier, if he wasn't saving a little bit of fuel when he fell back. He's 12 laps in and continuing to go around this track. Now, the benefit that Andrew is going to have, if anyone is out there thinking, well, why in the world would he not come in? Well, the benefit he's going to have is his pit time is going to be much shorter at the end of this race, where he can almost get a splash and go if he can make this thing another few laps.
Yeah, if he can get himself out to a really nice sized lead, he can come in, do a splash and go, get back out, and still hold that lead later on in the race. So maybe not a bad call if he was able to save a little bit. But, we're still going to see him on pit road probably within the next lap or two. But maybe not a bad call to try to run this one here a little bit long to have a shorter one at the end of the race.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. He did turn a 2:19.0 that last lap, and his fastest lap, Russ, a 2:18.6. So he's only about 4/10 off of that. So I don't think that these tires have slowed down at all. Now, they might be getting a lot slipperier, but, you might see some folks really try to roll the dice and not take 4 tires. If Andrew's able, it does look like he is going to bring this down pit road now. That's going to turn it over to Lee Campbell, who is going to come in and pit. So it looks like Andrew and Lee able to make it 13 laps on that round of fuel. So that's going to be pretty interesting, as they were able to save about a lap and a half over what Honeycutt and Truth and Sean were able to do.
Yeah, should be interesting again, towards the end of this race to see if that strategy is going to play out and help them in that later stage of the last pit stop there. make it a little bit shorter. But
Honeycutt is now going to take that lead back over. We are 13 laps into the 45 laps, and he is already out to about a 13-second lead over Truth. But I will tell you, it looks like Sean starting to put a little bit more pressure. As you can see, Truth just right there. Sean able to see him now in that windshield. Sean making that early mistake in off track, just has not been able to rebound from it. And we do show an off track for Andrew Teff. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened. Yeah, right back on track there. Just getting those left sides off just a little bit. Now that is going to put Cooper right back to the rear bumper of Andrew. And here we are back live in real time. Cooper now trying to find a way around. And this is very, very similar to what happened that first go around, where Cooper showed a lot of speed early on. Andrew fell back a bit, and then Andrew come on later in the race. So this is either just allowing those tires to come in, or he is still playing that same fuel strategy.
that might not be a bad idea. I mean, keep saving a little bit on your fuel, keep saving some tire, be able to make those moves later on in a run while everybody else is burning their tires up. Might not be that bad of a strategy, but I think it's going to be tough to compete with Brandon Honeycutt here tonight.
Yeah, and as we talk about these drivers and we watch the 30 and the 98 battle this thing out, you know, Russ, what would you really say the big difference is? Because, you know, you run oval and you have run road as well. When you're taking a car like this, or the next gen car, or the trucks for that matter, out here on these road courses, what are the big differences that you see between these and like a GT3 or a GTP, those cars that are really made to drive on the road?
The biggest difference is that these cars suck on road courses. Yeah, you know, like you said, you know, I run the GT3s, GTPs, you know, stuff like that, and I run, you know, next gen trucks, oval, on the oval side of it. But man, I try to bring one of these NASCAR, whether it be the trucks, the Xfinity, or the next gen car, out to a road course. Man, I tell you, I struggle. I've been working with the next gen at Watkins Glen, which hands down is the one road course that I know like the back of my hand. I've turned thousands and thousands of laps at Watkins Glen over all my years of whether it be video games or sim racing. It doesn't matter. Watkins Glen has always been my home track. It's been my favorite road course my entire life, and I cannot drive any of these NASCAR cars at Watkins Glen, and it's super frustrating. So when I come out and I watch these guys able to turn lap after lap, be smooth and consistent, it's really a breath of fresh air. And it also kind of gives me driver envy, because it's like, okay, I'm doing something wrong now. I need to learn how to take these cars to road courses and drive them too.
Yeah, it's a good point, you know, and when you just look at the mechanics of it, you know, these cars with the straight axles and the big track bars, you know, it does make them really tail happy. And then just the sheer weight of the car, it doesn't like to transfer weight as fast as a GT3, or, you know, a GTP's a completely, or the LMPs for that matter, a completely different animal, because they're really based more on downforce than they are mechanical downforce. So these cars are really hard, because it's essentially thinking, if you ever been into old cars, it's almost like trying to go around turns in something that has a leaf spring, or a big truck versus, you know, a newer car. They just don't stick to the road as well, so you almost have to muscle these things around. They're a lot of fun, I think, when you nail it, which is exactly what Brandon Honeycutt's going to do, because last lap he is going to go purple at a 2:15.9. So fantastic job by him. But you know, once you nail it, I think it's a thing of beauty. But if you struggle, man, that can just steamroll on you out of control really quickly at a track like this.
Oh, 100%. You know, like I said, but trying to put some testing in, you know, for another league that I'm running this year. You know, we're running at Watkins Glen in the next gens, and you know, it's super frustrating trying to figure out how to be able to muscle these cars around road courses, because you know, you're taking a car that's built for making left-hand turns, and then you try to make them turn right. Also, it's a whole nother nature of the beast, my friend.
Yeah, it is a fantastic equalizer, because you'll also see A lot of people that really have that knack to be able to do that, they can turn some quick laps at road, and you do just get enamored. And I can tell you that as it looks like Lee Campbell is going to take that turn just a little wide, but the biggest difference that I can find, well, there's two really large differences here. One is elevation. On an oval, you just don't quite have the elevation changes, and what that does to you as a driver is that is a weight adjustment that you're not used to. When you drive oval and you get in and out of a turn, you know what the rate weight's going to do. You know it's going to transfer over to the right. Now you just got to pick if you want it on the right front or the right rear. When you're going up and down and trying to break at the same time, the weight transfer here is just so unpredictable. I think that that is a big equalizer for road. And the other big thing is the turns are not the same. So if you have a track like here that's 4 miles of turns, every single turn is different. Some have banks, some are flat, some go left, some go right. And I think that in turn makes you have to really practice a track to nail each one of those turns. I think those two things for me throw a lot more variables in the system than oval. Oval's a different great animal as well because you're talking about fighting for inches, fighting for centimeters and being close and tight to people. Just two different styles of racing. And it is, like you said, great to see some guys that can just really do both.
Yeah, you see it in real life, all the time. You have your road course ringers that really show up and show out when NASCAR goes to a road course. And then you've got the guys who cannot run on road courses in real life, and they struggle each and every time that they go. But then you get that variable mix of a driver, say like a Kyle Larson or a Chase Elliott, who are fast on ovals, but then when you go to Watkins Glen, or you go to the Charlotte Roval, you go to Sonoma, they're always up there contending for a win because they put the time in, to learn how to drive these cars on these road courses. So you take a driver like that, and you put him behind the wheel, and you've got a great combination.
Yeah, and certainly through the whole course of a season, being able to run road is going to be huge for you because if you're a win and you're in and you're a road course ace or ringer like you talked about, those are the ones that you circle on the schedule. You say these are the ones that we can do it. I want to take a lap around here with Andrew, and we'll just ride on board with him for a lap or two. We've got a little bit of time, and I just want to hear him be able to wrestle and fight with this car as he makes these downshifts, fights the wheel chatter, and you can really see the elevation changes here. You can really tell how hard he is fighting that wheel to get that car to go around. I think one of the more surprising things that you could tell is one, the debris model, the change of the debris model here, Russ, it's special on road where, they have to run through these marbles, they have to run through the grass that gets kicked up. It can really affect the way that these cars handle.
Oh, 100%. You could hear those sand marbles kicking up under the cars. He's getting over by them rumble strips, it can very easily help break a car loose or make a car tight. It's really shocking how much this model change has really affected how these cars handle.
Oh, and it does look like that is going to push Sean Dunaway off the track. I believe he was trying to get underneath of the lap car of Ryan, and it looked like he just locked the brakes up as Ryan kind of closed the door on him, pushed him off of the track just a little bit. So your third place driver, Sean, getting pushed off the track, slowing down just a little bit. And again, those are just so many precious seconds that you lose out here on the road courses that are just almost impossible to make up. As you know, now Brandon's still turning those 17.22s. Andrew is in the 17s as well. And then Truth Hope turned a 17.7. So, whoa, and it looks like Ron's going to get way off a track, make contact with that retaining wall. Not a whole lot of damage there, but again, just that long sweeping turn where you heard Andrew way off of the throttle when he was getting back on throttle. You can hear the tail end just a little fishy. And with Ryan, it looked like he tried to go through full throttle there and just couldn't make it.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get that thing low down quite enough. But the one thing I wanted to point out too is, when we were riding along with Andrew, is you could hear as he was going through those corners how much those tires are just screaming, as he's going around them because of how tight these turns are. So it's definitely putting some wear on these tires as they turn these laps off. But yeah, that's one thing you could hear was just how angry these tires were getting.
Yeah, it's interesting, when we look at how this is going to play out because we saw Honeycutt come down on 11. So in about, 3 laps, we should see that round of pit stops start again. But kind of closer to the end of that last stint, Andrew was running just as quick of lap times as he did when he started that stint. So, if somebody looks at that and says, "Hey, let me not take fuel this stint, or not take tires this stint, and just get the fuel," that's certainly going to catch up a little bit. But now Andrew being 36 seconds back, I believe unless Honeycutt does something pretty drastic, I don't believe even not taking tires is going to help him here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. These guys have spaced themselves out enough that not really sure how much a strategy of taking tires versus not taking tires is really going to pay off for much of anybody right now.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I've seen Brandon run quite a bit. It just seems like this year, Russ, he's really found something on these road courses. Like you said earlier, Lime Rock just dominated there in the trucks, and here he is in this Xfinity car here at Road America, just putting it on the field as well. So just seems like this year he's really made a concerted effort to get after these road courses, put the lap times in, and it's really showing.
Yeah, 100%. Dominated there at Lime Rock, and you know got a strong hand showing here again at Road America. And at Races Elite, they have one road course for every one of their series, and he's obviously put the time in for both of these races, so far this year, and it's definitely showing.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job here. Now out to about a 15.5 second lead over Truth. And I will tell you, Truth has put together some impressive runs so far this season as well, not only in the trucks, but in this Xfinity series. He is going to be one of your playoff drivers as well. And you can never count this gentleman out because I've seen him really put on some fantastic shows on short tracks as well. The one thing about Truth is he's always been competitive. It's been one or two things that bite him throughout the race that has caused him some poor finishes versus where he is. I do believe last season was the first season that Truth picked up a victory here at Racers Elite. And I'll tell you, that's shocking to this gentleman, especially with how quick he is everywhere we go.
Yeah, 100%. Ever since we've started broadcasting for Racers Elite, Truth has been a name that we've talked about quite frequently because he's up there battling for a top position. He led laps a few weeks ago, led quite a few laps, a couple of weeks ago, and he's definitely always in contention. But like you said, little things here or there, a little misstep or something has cost him. a couple of podium finishes that I feel like he probably should have had.
I agree, and does look like he is getting throughout this season. Now, he has picked up a win here in the Xfinity Series this year, but it does look like those wins. And sometimes you just got to get that first one off your back, and I think that's really what happened to Truth. He got that first one off his back. It's allowed him to relax just a little bit, turn some laps, and be fast. And as you see him now, kind of going off track again at that long sweeping right-hander. But it's just really put him in a position now where he can relax and race for wins, and he's been able to pick up another one this year. And I'm trying to go back and see what he has done in our truck series as well, because he has been one of the quicker drivers there. Now, he's 8th in the points in trucks. He only has one top 5. So that tells you something, because even in the trucks, every time that we see this driver, he's up in the top 5. It's just something always happens to him.
Yeah. Last night, even in the truck show at Eldora, he had a really good, solid run all night long. And, you know, something, I don't know. I don't remember if he got the wall just a little bit too much. It cost him just that little bit. But, yeah, it's just, one thing can ruin your whole race. And unfortunately, Truth has seen quite a bit of that this season. So it's really good to see him up here running in P2 right now. We're closing in on halfway, and see if he can hold on to a podium position for the second half.
Yeah, now that we have 26 laps to go, as we continue to look through the field, we're going to focus here on Sean. Sean, another fantastic driver that we've looked at that runs the trucks and runs here in the Xfinity Series. He has done a fantastic job as well in the trucks. Let me see if I can find out where Sean is in the trucks. Sean is 5th point in the points, but now he has 6 top 10s on the year, 5 top 5. So he has shown a lot of skill and strength in that truck series. And here, one of the quicker drivers, and has to be one of the favorites, as you can see. It looks like that these tracks coming up are really going to line up well for him.
Yeah, he's been another really consistent driver that we've had the pleasure of calling races for this season. He's been in the mix for quite a few of them, and he's one that I like to talk about just because he's brave enough to come out and run in this Hello Kitty paint scheme. But it kind of goes on as a running joke. But I'll tell you what, he's been able to put that car into some really good finishes this season, both in the trucks and in the Xfinity series that we've been calling.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm really excited. One of the things I could tell you about Sean that I've noticed is his willingness to run and to run clean. I don't have his incident points, Russ, for all of the season, but I can tell you that he is what I would consider to be a super clean driver. He reminds me of like an old school Mark Martin, where he's going to have speed, but he's not going to wreck you for a win. He's just going to run you hard, run you clean, and do the best he can. And wherever he finishes, he's going to finish. But he's not going to sell himself out to get a win.
Yeah, I mean he's not gonna give you the spot. He's gonna make you earn a spot. But once you get that run on him and you take that spot, he's not gonna overfight you, or he's not gonna try to cross you over aggressively. He's just one of those nice, calm, cool, collective, and consistent drivers, and that we like to see out on iRacing.
Yeah, that is true. So we're going to come back here as we continue to go through the field, Russ, and we're going to look at your 4th place driver of Andrew Teft, and that fight really between him and Cooper has been waging, really even Lee. Throw Lee in that, as these 3 drivers are still super close and on top of each other with 25 laps to go. But as we go back through, Andrew, and we talk about Andrew a little bit, I will tell you, kind of in the reverse of Sean, what I have noticed about Andrew is he is very strategic. He's going to be a strategic driver. He's going to look at tire wear over the long run. He is also going to look at fuel, and he's one of those drivers that if you were in a chat with him before the race, you want to hear what his idea is, how long he thinks he can go on fuel, and what he can do with his tires. But the other thing that I have noticed is, whoa, you see Cooper really getting loose coming out of that turn. But the other thing I've really noticed about Andrew is if he sniffs a lead, on those restarts, starts and restarts, he's one of the more aggressive drivers that we have here at Racers Elite on those, trying to pick up those positions as quickly and aggressively as he can.
Yeah, 100%. We've watched him for weeks and weeks here, and he's just proven that he's fast, he's smooth, he's methodical. He has a plan coming into every single race, whether it's to sit back and relax, take the time to save the fuel, save some tire, whatever have you. But when it's time to go, he's not afraid to go. He can really ruffle feathers, if you will. But at the same time, it's done respectively. He's not afraid to battle you. He's not afraid to really put the bumper to you and make you earn whatever it is you're going for.
Yeah, as we can see right behind him, as we're talking about him, let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Jesse. Oh, the 69 car is just going to get a little loose there and is going to check up the 30 of Cooper, and that's going to allow Lee to get right onto the back bumper of that driver. So as we go back, we're going to keep rolling through here. Cooper in a tight battle here with the 60 car. So Cooper has shown a lot of strength. And as I look through the Xfinity series here with Cooper, in his 7 starts, so he has missed a race, and now he's going to be in a battle with Lee Campbell as Lee's going to shoot to the right-hand side of him. Cooper is going to fend him off going into the second right-hander. It looks like Lee is going to stay in line, but as I go through here, Russ, and I look at him, only 7 starts. So we have 8 races so far, 7 starts. He's got 5 top 10. So really consistent driver as well. We've seen that need sponsor race car all season long. And he seems to me as a hungry driver. I see him really finding a good race line, and he is aggressive in that race line as well. The 69 of Jesse Fox is going to crash hard into that outside retaining wall. So let's take a look. Hard under braking. This car's just going to shoot right on him. He's crossed. Oh, and he just turns it to turn it away from getting into the back of Lee Campbell. So good job by him on avoiding Lee. But man, that car has seen better days.
Yeah, it's one of them situations of I'm going to sacrifice myself so I don't take somebody else out. Good job by him for doing that, for sacrificing himself. I mean, he's obviously going to probably end up coming down pit road, see if he's still got his fast repair, get that car fixed, get it back out on the track. But good heads up driving by him to keep his car out of that 60.
Yeah, nah, and I'll tell you, as we continue to move through the field here, we're going to talk a little bit about Lee Campbell in this 60 car. And as he's going to go off of the track, we get the broadcaster's curse, it seems like, everywhere we go tonight, Russ. But that 60 car of Lee, I'm impressed with him, too. He reminds me a lot. Oh, and Cooper in that 30 is going to get sideways, and that is going to allow Lee to get by Cooper. My goodness, let's go back and see what happened. As it looks like he just touched grass with those left rear tires, and that's exactly, he's just right off, and once he gets under braking, that left side just locks up on him, and he has nowhere to go.
Just the slightest little bit of grass, and that car just shoots. That's what we were talking about, with this new model and stuff. It get a little bit of the tire on the grass, and it's just like you're on ice, and that thing just wants to hook around on you.
Yeah, and we are going to flip this over, as it does look like Brandon Honeycutt still in the lead, but it looks like Truth, Sean, Lee Campbell, and Cooper all in the pits right now, getting service completed. We're going to go back and take a look at Cody in the 19 machine. I will tell you, Cody, I haven't spent a whole lot of time watching him race except for this Xfinity series, but really impressed with his calmness and his poise around other drivers. Has one of the best paint schemes, I think, Russ, in my opinion, of all of the Xfinity cars. But he is one of those drivers that it looks like to me every time a race is over, he just has clean fenders on this thing.
Yeah, I mean we've watched him a couple of times now, and he's a driver. He's not afraid to really hang that car out. We seen him a couple of weeks ago. He was getting sideways. I think it was at Lime Rock, in the truck series. He coming off of them quarters, he was just as sideways as if he was running at Eldora last night. So driver that's not afraid to really hang these cars out. But like you said, at the end of the race, he's one of the very few that you see that has a clean car on all
Yep.
four corners.
Yep, I agree completely. Now it looks like Brandon Honeycutt is going to come in and take his pit stop now, so he was able to go a little bit longer than even the other drivers did. Andrew Teft, I do believe, is still going to be out here on the track now, and he is going to attempt to go long as well. So with 22 laps to go, we have to start counting our way backwards, and it looks like Honeycutt could probably cut this to an 11 and then a 10-lap stint for the last little bit of this race. And I don't know really what Andrew's looking at here. Maybe to go long, as you see, he is going to miss pit road and stay out. So he, I think, is looking to try to short pit that last pit. Again, as we talked about, it's going to become a distance issue. As now you can see Brandon Honeycutt coming out very close to Andrew. So Andrew's still having to make his pit stop, and so that's going to be the gap. When Andrew comes in, that'll be a 40 to 45-second gap by the time he can get back out.
Yeah, that seemed like it was a really quick pit stop for Brandon Honeycutt. I'm wondering if he took any tires or if he just, might have only taken two. For him to come out right behind Andrew Teft right there, that tells me he had a pretty short pit stop.
Yeah, I show him at a 14 3/4 on the stop. So I do believe that he took four, but I don't see anyone. Lee Campbell took a 55-second pit stop. So that's 60 machine. Taking a pretty long time there in the pit road is now way, way behind that 30 car. So not certain what happened. That's got to be a 40-second hold for speeding on pit road.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that sounded like a pit road speeding penalty there with a 40-second hold. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt, as it does look like now Cooper coming in, and his hood is up on this car. What has happened to Cooper? Or, yeah, let's go back and see if we can look. He is now in this 30 machine. Is this from the damage earlier?
I was gonna say he's driving blind down pit road. He can't see where he's going.
I do not show any sort of wreck or, oh, here it is. Let's see if we can find out what's happened to Cooper and why his hood is up. Oh, this is going to be bad. Wow, that is a big hit. Now we're going to continue to stay with him because I want to see. Let's see if we get a cockpit view. And man, this is not fun to drive down pit road.
He had a long drive just to get back to pit road with that hood being up, let alone all the way down pit road too. Wow.
I can tell you, I've never really seen that. I don't know if he's trying to look through this little small square right above his name there on that dash, but this is a simulator, so he cannot just stick his head out and take a look at it. So what a crazy ride that he's got to find his way into his pits. He has to be listening to the countdown from his spotter because there's no way that he can see his pit stop marker.
Yeah, not in the least. I mean, we've seen when he came in, I've seen it. His hood dropped down like that right there. I probably would have tried spiking my brakes coming down pit road to see if I could get that hood to come down a little bit before I got to my box. But
oh, yeah, and he's just having trouble just trying to get there. He's going to take that fast repair, and that really puts a damper on his night as he had some fantastic speed, him and Andrew Teft in a battle all night long. Now, he does have a nice, clean car, and with that 40-second hold of Lee Campbell, these two might find their way back around each other, but he is going to be shown now in 7th position. And he is going to have to do some pretty aggressive driving to get himself back up. It looks like 6th is about 22 seconds away, and that is Cody. So Cooper having the hood pop up on that car right at pit road entry, or right across from pit road entry, kind of helped him get back to pit road and not have to tow. But my goodness, yeah, and you can see now, Russ, he is just driving the wheels off of this thing.
Yeah, he's like, I got time I got to make up. I got to go.
We're going to go back up front and talk a little bit more about Brandon and where he sits so far in this Xfinity series. Now, Brandon, second in points to Sean. Both of these drivers have 2 wins on the season. Sean a little bit more consistent there with 8 top tens versus Brandon's 6. They both are tied in top fives with 6 apiece. So this does look like this is really going to be a battle in these next 4 races, Russ. To come down between really Sean, Brandon Truth is right there, and Andrew Teft has shown his ability to take some checker flags too. So, but I do believe Brandon, with the tracks that's coming up, we know how good he is on restrictor plate races. So it's going to be for him, I think, in this series, finding a partner that's going to help him out.
Yeah, he's got a teammate out there. I haven't seen him in the last few weeks. I'm not really sure what's going on with him, but yeah, he usually has his drafting partner there at those restrictor plate tracks. But if something happened to him or or whatever, he's gonna have to try to find some kind of a friend out there.
And that's always the big equalizer, are those plate tracks. And Daytona really smack dab in the middle of this playoff and this chase run for these drivers, because we're going to have what we've got Dover as our first race. Where are we going after Dover? We are going to the fairgrounds, Nashville Fairgrounds. That's going to be a very interesting race to call, as that track, is an extremely short track. And actually, just being a native of Nashville, I still actually go to that track from time to time, and you would not believe it, even in person, how small that track is. So these Xfinity cars are going to be kind of a bull in a china shop, trying to get around that track. But if I know Brandon, he's going to put some lap time in, and he's going to try to find his way around there quicker than anyone else.
Brandon puts a lot of time in, I'm sure. Um, you know, practice for these races each and every week, and take these cars to a track like Nashville Fairgrounds. It's not really, you see him get way off track there through that high speed straightaway. It's not normally a track that that these types of cars are going to run on. It's kind of like taking the next gens to the LA Coliseum or the Bowman Gray. It's kind of another curveball there, taking these Xfinities to a track like Nashville Fairgrounds.
We do show Sean Dunaway as Crash. Let's go back and see if we can take a look and see what happened to Sean. This looks like that same spot that has really been bugging these drivers all race long. That heavy down elevation, heavy braking zone. And it looks like he's able to get back on track. Not a whole lot of time lost. Andrew Teft not too far away from that driver here, about 4.5 seconds back. But yeah, so we're going to hit Nashville Fairgrounds, and then we're going to Daytona. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Kansas is going to be a very interesting track. It's very top dominant. Even in these Xfinity cars, that track is going to be top dominant. There is going to be some draft that's going to come into play, but that one is going to be tire wear on these Xfinity cars.
Oh, 100%. A track like Kansas, I feel like, is one that's really suited well for a driver like Brandon Honeycutt. He's one of those intermediate tracks. He's so methodical at those mile-and-a-half tracks that I wouldn't be surprised to see him battling for a championship when it comes down to Kansas, because a track like that, I feel, is suited for a driver like Brandon Honeycutt.
Yeah, and I wouldn't overlook this driver here in the 55 car as well. He now showing his strength here at road courses in second position. And again, he is about 17.5 seconds behind Brandon, but he's also around 28 seconds in front of Sean. So he is kind of in no man's land with 19 laps to go. They have to do one more pit stop, but really impressed with him running second here at this track. But, I wouldn't count him out too. He has been a really quick intermediate driver. Kansas is going to be right into his wheelhouse too. I do think that Dover and Nashville, even Dover, I believe that Truth is going to come out and find some speed. It's just going to be being able to keep that car clean all the way throughout these races, stay out of any kind of trouble, and away from any big wrecks. And I think he's got a shot at this thing.
Yeah, we've talked about it time and time again, about how there's always, up front, running in the thick of things. Yeah, I wouldn't overlook him at all.
Let's go back and take a look at a couple of off tracks as it looks like we show Andrew in that 98 car. Again, that braking zone just really getting after everyone. Cody as an off track. Let's see what happened to Cody. Looks like he was still able to make that pass on Kirby there, sliding around that turn. Nicely done by Cody. Oh, that looked like a little bit of a money shift there, or a downshift into a gear that he did not want to be in. That created that off track. 57 back on track. Aaron Roth only down one spot from where he started. And as we go through this again, folks, your top five is Honeycutt, Hoke, Dunaway, Teft, and Lee Campbell. Again, we saw Lee getting that early 40-second penalty for speeding on pit road. We believe that that's where it was anyway. And he is, as you can see him sliding around that turn. Looks like that long sweeping right-hander, these drivers still trying to make that right-hander wide open. It's just not sticking for these Xfinity cars.
Yeah, I think guys are getting a little bit tired of that corner, so they're just like, I'm just going to hang it out. Whatever happens, happens.
Oh, as we see in real time, broadcasters curse again, Russ, as Lee is going to overshoot that turn, wrap that thing around into that sand trap, back on track now. I do believe that he is going to be okay, though, Russ. He has a 9-second lead over Cody, and it looks like Cody now registering as an off track. So let's see what happened to him.
Fast entering that braking zone again.
Man, he almost mirrored Lee's wreck there. I think Lee a little bit more sideways than what Cody was, but in that same spot, I believe that lap before is when he was making that pass sideways. So, yeah, having a little bit of trouble with those heavy braking zones now, and that's what happens here at these road cars. It's just so hard to mentally stay engaged, to mentally stay on top of it, and we still have one pit stop and a whole nother stint to go.
Yeah, especially when you you get as spread out as these drivers are. You kind of get into a little bit of a mental zone, if you will. You're not really battling anybody for position in front of you, and you don't really have anybody breathing down your neck behind you. And sometimes you just happen to have a mental slip and miss it. We've all done it.
Yeah, we've all done it. We've all been there. Kirby doing it right now, being there right now. As you can see, that turn is now starting to claim quite a few victims. And let's see if we can find out what happened to Aaron. As here we go again, Russ, same turn. Oh, he's actually going to make some contact with the wall. This turn is starting to claim a lot of drivers now. Lee back out on track. I think all is good there. I do want to go back, take a look at Kirby. Kirby's car looking fine. Yeah, I don't see any damage from that earlier slip over there in the turn. So I think he is going to be okay. And we're going to go back up here to Brandon Honeycutt now. Brandon, last lap turning a 16.58. So Brandon still staying around that 16 to 17 second range. To put that perspective, Truth, it turned an 18.40. So no one is sub 17 that last lap except for your pole sitter and the #1 driver here on the track in this 13 machine.
Yeah, Brandon's one driver. We've been seeing it all night. Drivers having problems with that downhill left-hander, getting off track. The right-hander coming out to the final two before the front stretch. Brandon, we have not seen have any kind of problems yet in any of those corners. So
except for right there.
We gotta stop talking about stuff like that, John.
Well,
but for the most part, he's kept it clean all the way around. He's just got himself into a nice rhythm, and you get into a nice rhythm like that, and you're gonna have the kind of night that Brandon's having right now.
Yeah, and I believe he's about 21 seconds up now on Truth. So we are going to go around, Russ, and we're just going to take just another little quick break and let everybody listen to this driver take a lap around Road America. So there you have it, riding around the track with your leader. Uh, Russ, that was a 2 minute, 17-second lap. On board, you can still tell in these Xfinity cars really how Brandon is having to tiptoe this thing around this track.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, we talked about it before. Throttle control is a major factor when it comes to these road courses. And Brandon's done a great job managing his corner exits. You don't want to get on the throttle too soon, get loose, but he's done a great job all night long.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Sean is probably pulling his hair out at that turn as he has went off once again. And I can tell you, some of these drivers are probably looking at this thing and saying, "Man, 15 laps to go. Let's just get this one over with." Let's see what happened to Aaron. That is the turn that bit that left front fender with him a little bit earlier. All right, and then it looks like we have Cooper going off track as well. Oh, he has done the same thing that he did before, except this time it's not head on into that tire barrier, but getting that left side off of the track. And man, if you're under braking and you get onto that slick stuff, it is absolutely over for you.
Yeah, 100%. Get out there into that sand, get off in the grass. You're just trying to get that car on, get that car back on the track as safe as possible.
Yeah, this Andrew Teff doing a great job now in fourth position. Really, it was kind of great to watch him. I think a little bit earlier, Russ, kind of struggle in that first 5 to 7 laps, and then get himself back into a rhythm. And these road courses are so rhythm based, especially in these cars. Just getting himself back into a nice rhythm, getting back in front of Lee, back in front of Cooper, and really driving away from him now and claiming this 4 spot.
Yeah, when we were running on board with Brandon back there, I saw Andrew spin himself out going through that downhill left hander. But there was no harm, no foul. He got back going, and it looks like he's trying to get himself back into that rhythm once again.
Yeah, he's really put a nice race together, and this is going to give him yet another top 5 here on that season. And as we go back and take a look at him and where we are at here in points, Andrew has 5 top 10s and 3 top 5s. So this is certainly going to add to that if everything holds true. Now, I want to go back and take one more look at where we're at on this cutoff line, because again, Jesse Fox 1 point ahead of Aaron Marquis. Jesse has been having some off track issues and a couple of wrecks that have posted for him. Jesse now has worked his way back up to the 9th position. He is 2 spots ahead of where he started, Russ. And unfortunately for Aaron Marquis, now sitting back in 13th. It looks like if everything holds true, Jesse is going to be able to hold on. The only other driver really able to put any pressure on him is going to be Jarrett. And Jarrett, as we talked about earlier, decided to pack that thing in early and not even take the green flag.
Yeah, I don't think Jesse's going to have anything to worry about running their P9. And unfortunately, it looks like Aaron finally decided to take that 41 car to the hauler for the night. It looks like he is done for the evening. It looks like Jesse's going to be able to lock himself into the playoffs here for the Races Elite Xfinity Series.
Yeah, so as we walk that down, we can go ahead and call that if that car now of Marquis is now off of the track and in the hauler, that is going to lock in your top 12, and that's going to be Sean Dunaway, Brandon Honeycutt, Brandon will jump him going into these playoffs as the #1 driver. He will have 3 wins on the season if this holds true. So Brandon Honeycutt right now is sitting in 2nd. Truth Hoke is going to be in 3rd. Andrew Teft in 4th. Lee Campbell in 5th. Cody in 6th. Sean is going to be in 7th. Kirby Wainscott in 8th. Alex Teft, I believe, is going to be safe. Now, he was 12 points ahead. I do not believe he is going to have anything to worry about. And then you've got Ryan in 10th. Ryan is out here on the track, and he is in 10th place, so he is pretty secure as well. Cooper is going to be in 11th, and then Jesse Fox is going to be your 12th place driver going into these last 4 races. All right, and as we run down where we are standing right now, let me see if I can hide this for you, and I'm going to pop up that tower. Now that we have about 4 drivers that are out, you can see really the distance between all of these drivers. Now Honeycutt up to a 25.5-second lead over Truth Hoke. Sean Dunaway with those couple of off tracks and downhill issues that he had, still sitting in third. Now that battle here for him and Teft is going to tighten up just a little bit. It's really right around 8 seconds. That's going to be your closest battle, is this 98 machine and this 01 driver here for that third position. I think as long as Sean can kind of hold on and manage and get through one more pit stop, I believe this driver can take home a podium spot here at Road America.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that he keeps the car between the lines. We've seen him have his fair share of slight incidents, and with Andrew breathing down his neck about a half a second back, it's still either one of their games. But as long as he can keep this car clean for the rest of the race, it looks like he could come away with a podium finish.
Yeah, that last lap, Honeycutt was turning a. Matter of fact, let's go over here, and we should be able to see lap times. Let's look at your last lap time. As you can see now on your tower there on the left. So Honeycutt turning a 17.85 to Truce 18.5. So you can see Honeycutt still sub 18. Everyone else really outside of Truth in the 19s and even the 20s and above. So really a whole lot of pace still by these top 2 drivers, really putting the gap now on the rest of this field.
Yeah, for sure. Honeycutt's got himself a really nice easy lead. I mean, he's running 2 seconds a lap faster. I mean, at this point, he could really back off and just take it easy on his car for the rest of this race. As we see Sean coming down to pit road and make his final pit stop of the race.
Now, he is going to be the first one down, 12 laps to go. It will be 11 when he crosses this start-finish line here, and we've all seen these drivers be able to take that pit stop and be able to get these cars to go at least 11 laps. So he is going to be well within his fuel window, as he is going to come down to the care of his pit crew. Now, I do want to see if anybody is going to roll the dice and do fuel only. I don't think that Sean is close enough to Truth to even make that gamble. However, your third place driver of Teft might be close enough to Sean to be able to make that happen.
Yeah, it looks like Sean's taking 4, which is probably the smart call here. Get those fresh rubbers on for this final stint of the race.
Yeah, Robert Yost there in the chat saying it's one of the best tracks that he actually got to go to and race at. Well, Robert, I'm a little bit jealous that you got to run in this track. I can tell you it's been a blast watching them try to navigate these Xfinity cars around this track. As we show now, Jesse Fox has crashed. Let's take a look at, see what has happened to Jesse. And here we go to this downhill again.
Same story, different chapter.
Yeah, and there it is. Jesse just really struggling to get that power down. Lot of front bias in that car, snapping that rear end around. He is back on the track, but he is not the only one that, unfortunately, that has happened to throughout this night. Is now it looks like Sean is going to come out right in front of Cody. That will be a battle for position right now, but again, Cody has not taken that final pit stop, so I do think that he will be coming down Cooper, he'll be coming down very, very soon. Let's go back to Aaron showing an off track. Let's see what happened to Aaron. That might be a new one that we have not seen. No harm, no foul. He is right back on the track. He still has a little bit of left front damage. Believe he might be able to take that. I don't believe he took a fast repair earlier on, Russ, so he might be able to take that and get himself back out on track. Truth Hoke, your second place driver, coming down pit road. Let's see if Truth is going to take 4 or if it's going to be fuel only. Truth definitely up on the jack stands. Yeah, you can see the right side going up here, so it does look like, Russ, that he is going to take all 4 tires and get himself back out on track.
Yeah, looks like 4 tires is the This is a strategy all race long. Here's the
Andrew
one
Tuff.
guy that I would say would gamble if he wanted to.
Oh, that car is coming up. Left sides are up on that car, which means the right sides will probably come up as well. I don't see the point in taking one side and not the other. So he is going to elect to take all four tires. So no crazy pit strategy today, Russ. I believe it's just going to be straight up. Everybody's pretty comfortable with where they're at, and they're just really wanting to run this thing out.
Yeah, coming to 10 to go. Laps are winding down. Everybody, I think, has just gotten to the point of let's just get this race over with. I'm tired of spinning out on that left hill or that left turn downhill, and let's just get this thing finished.
Yeah, Robert's still in chat saying the curbs are absolutely brutal with 5-inch drop offs. I can tell you that the Xfinity car is taking a little bit better, but I've run a couple of just on the sim GT3 races around here, and I will tell you that that these curbs will absolutely snatch you around.
100%. Been there, done that.
All right, so here is your leader. Brandon Honeycutt has really led from the drop of that green flag. Andrew Teff leading a couple of laps throughout this race as they had pit cycled back out, but this really has been your dominant driver. 10 laps to go. Not a whole lot more to say about the performance that he has put out here tonight at Road America. It was close. It looked like Sean might have had something for him there in the early stages, but that was short-lived. About 5 laps in, Sean making a little bit of an error gave Brandon the gap that he needed, and he just never looked back.
Yeah, once Brandon got that first lead of about 3.5, 4 seconds, it's been nothing but leading from there and not looking back.
Yeah, and he is going to come back out as we start to wind this thing down. We are still in the 10 lap to go range. Brandon Honeycutt really keeping that car clean. We saw a couple of issues on 2 of the downhill braking locations. Brandon not really had that issue tonight, as it doesn't look like. Let's see if we can go back here and take a look at Andrew as we show him as wrecked or off track. Just overshooting that turn just a little bit, right back on track. I'm not even certain that that would have slowed him down there, Russ.
No, not at all. Hammer down, brother.
Hammer it down. You only have a few laps to go. I can tell you that these drivers are probably exhausted solid at the wheel of these cars. They have been loose, hard to drive all night long, and you're looking at least an hour and hour and 30, hour and 45 minutes to the end of this race. From the time that the green flag dropped, there are no cautions. Is no break for water unless you're going to take it down through your pit stop. So this has been a fantastic race by all of these guys.
Yeah, we're an hour and a half in already. We've got 10 to go at 2 minutes 16 seconds a lap, so we've still got 20 plus minutes left in this race, even though there's only 10 laps to go. So yeah, very long race for these drivers tonight.
Oh, and there is a pretty big off track. Now I can tell you what happened there as we're going to kind of roll this back because our SDK is not going to catch it. Watch the left side of his tires here. As here he goes, Brandon Honeycutt trying to catch that. What he's doing is trying to catch that curb to give him rotation. See how he just gets off in the grass, just a little premature on getting to that rumble strip. And that is what has created this entire loose condition and off track there on that last turn before he went down that front straightaway.
Yeah, just that little bit of grass, it upset the car for that entire turn.
Go back and take a look at Truth, see how he's doing. Nice, clean car that he has here in this 55 machine. Just out here logging laps, doing what he's got to do. Last lap at a 2:17.04, so he is still showing quite a bit. And I will tell you, there is some tire fall off. Every time these drivers come in, get some fresh tires. That first 5 laps, they're able to turn some super quick laps, and then they seem to level off for the rest of the run, as we see now Lee Campbell turning a 16:54 that last lap. Let's see if we can look at that last lap time. So you can see there, Lee Campbell in that 60 and fifth position at a 16:54 last lap. Honeycutt, that 2:49 would be his pit stop.
Yeah, he just turned a 16.58. Yeah, that would have been his best stop for sure.
Andrew Teft logging into a 16:58 now as well. So a lot of these drivers turning some really quick lap times with these fresh tires on. And as we show 9 to go, I don't believe you're going to see a whole lot of people pushing as hard as they could, as it looks like now Aaron Roth going back down pit lane. That is your 7th place driver. So we'll keep an eye on how long that pit stop will take. And it does look like on and off of your pit road, your fastest driver on and off pit road was this 3rd place driver of Sean Dunaway. He was on and off in about 56.62 and had a longer pit stop at a 15.13. So really quick on and off the track. Your best time in the pits actually getting that car jacked up was Honeycutt at a 14.85.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah, Sean is really, outside of a handful of those hard elevation changes going down the hill, really drove a great race. Had a lot of speed early on, stayed right in the tire tracks of Honeycutt. As you can see him getting off track, really still trying to get that high speed right-hander to hook on these Xfinity cars. Does look like we show Cody as an off track. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Cody. Man,
out dirt track.
That is not the first time we have seen these cars come down and just over rotate right in the middle of the turn. And he was not that far away from your leader. Then we can see now as we go back live, that number 1 car, that 13 machine of Brandon Honeycutt, turning and going purple at a 15.06. He is getting dangerously close to breaking into the 14s with those fresh tires, track temperatures going down and getting a little cooler. Let's go back and take a look at Ryan.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, John. The track temp has dropped about 13 degrees since the start of this race, so these lap times are going to start getting a little bit quicker with these fresh tires.
Right, just fighting that car left and right, running through the grass, trying to find a little bit of track to get these tires back on. And it does look like, let's see what happened to Kirby. Man, that turn has just really cost a lot of drivers. I want to do something real quick. Let's see if we can go on board, because I do believe that this is going to be Will Chatter, as I could hear it from him. We'll back up just a little bit more. Yeah, so that's just a slow downshift there, Russ, that really created that for him. Just not getting that downshift as quick as he needed to get that car slowed down enough to make that right-hander.
Yeah, the downshifts, you got to time them just right. Really help that motor help slow the car down a little bit. It's a little off right there, no big deal though.
Do show Cody one more time. Let's see what happened to Cody here. Same spot he's been struggling with all night that Kirby just struggled with, and that turn has just been a nightmare for these Xfinity drivers.
Yeah, we've really seen two main spots here tonight that have really caused a ruckus with these drivers tonight, and that's definitely one of them. Aside from that downhill left-handers. Oh no, I see Sean Dunaway in the wall.
Let's go and take a look at Sean. Oh, just an over rotation. And oh, that is a big hit to the front end of that vehicle. Now, he was the one that was really close to Andrew, and it looks like Andrew able to make that pass on Sean. Let's see if we can go back and take a look at when that pass happened. Oh, and he just saw him off track. Sean having to give up the position now. Put 98 machine on the podium right now with just a handful of laps to go. And this is going to be a hot battle to the end.
Yeah, what a change of events here.
8-second lead coming out of the pits for Sean Dunaway over your fourth place driver then of Andrew Teft. Coming around that turn, getting loose, heavy contact to the front end of that car, put him behind. Andrew able to make that pass, but I will tell you, Sean back in the slipstream of this 98, he is not going to let him go, Russ.
He's gonna try to run him back down. I'm just wondering how much damage that wall contact actually caused that '01 car. But, yeah, he's gonna fight it out for right now. Try to get back by that 98.
Well, what seemed to be a calm race till the end has now started to heat up. Let's see if we can get this the intervals back up here on your screen. Truth, no worries for Brandon Honeycutt. Truth down about 32 seconds to your lead. So this is the tightest race. Your podium for third is going to be between this 98 car and that '01 of Sean Dunaway. And it looks like Andrew's just got a little bit better turn, is in a better rhythm right now than that '01.
Yeah, like I said, it kind of makes me wonder if that wall contact damage doesn't just make it a little bit hard to see him getting off track back there again. You know, it's if it's affecting the handling of that '01 car.
And I will tell you, when you're that close, and Sean's probably kicking himself as well. It's going to have a little bit of an over driving issue as he's going to try to catch back up to Andrew. And Andrew, one of the cooler customers that we have here at Racers Elite, I'm not certain that he is going to overdrive his car, but Sean is still staying tight enough to him at about 8/10. If you're within that second mark, you can stay in and get a little bit of that draft. As you can see, that car not losing a ton of power down these long straightaways to that 98 machine.
You're able to stay in that draft and keep right with it. See Andrew got in that corner. It looked like it was a little bit hot, but he was able to get it wound down and be able to make that corner. But 6 laps to go. It seems like this race is winding down, but still plenty of time for something to happen, as we just saw with the '01. So can't count anything out at this point. It's not over till it's over.
That is right. One little slip up, Honeycutt catching those wheels off and doing a front end damage and blowing an engine up will certainly change this whole thing. Truth Hope can do any of the drivers out here on the track. Anything can happen at any given moment. And that's why you got to race these things back to the checkered flag. And it does look like now Andrew putting about a second on Sean. Sean giving everything he's got to stay in contact with the 98, stay in that draft. And it does look like Andrew now starting to turn the wick up on that car. As you can see him sliding around under braking, having to catch that car. Man, he is giving this thing everything that he has here with 5 laps to go.
Just trying to do anything he can right now to try to put some distance between him and Sean. Try to break that draft when they come back out onto that long straightaway.
He had a great sector there, as it does look like he was about able to put about 2/10 on Sean in that sector. Sean now going to scrape those tires off. Now he's able to gain a 10th back. Ooh, Andrew doing a fantastic job in that braking zone. Sean was able to get back to the throttle a little bit sooner and pull this back into within 7/10 of a second, now 6/10 of a second, as Sean has found his rhythm again. And you can hear Andrew's rear tire starting to slide around on that car. Now, again, 8/10 of a second. That is going to give Sean enough of a draft to keep this car close. Now, 7/10 of a second back.
Yeah, Sean is not going away, and Andrew, I think, is probably saying, "Dude, you need to go away. I want this podium finished, and I don't want to have to fight you for it."
Well, I tell you what started as as kind of a backward slide from Andrew. He had a really aggressive start, gaining several positions, then having a bit of a backward slide, has been on the march forward ever since that time. Still only 8/10 separate him and your 4th place driver of Sean Dunaway. This is your race inside of a race. Honeycutt up to a 32-second lead over Truth Hoke. Truth Hoke way out, over 50 seconds ahead of these two drivers. So this is your race inside of a race for a podium spot here. Your last race before we go chasing here at Road America. This is going to be a good one. Now 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, coming to 4 to go here. And it's time to start getting ready to go because that old one's not going away. Right, just one little slip up from Andrew Tefter, he can take that 3rd spot back.
We'll tell you, Andrew just focused on trying to hit his marks. That's where you really just want to close your eyes and just feel where your race car is. You do not want to look in the rearview mirror and see that pink Hello Kitty machine trying to run you down. That gap still 0.7 of a second. As you can see, Sean just giving it everything that he has, kicking these tires off of the turn, slinging mud and debris up. Is now Andrew really getting into that turn. Well, oh, he's going to take it just a little wide. And that is really going to choke this up as Andrew just under hard braking had to go wide. That's going to pull this within 0.5 second and a much closer drafting position for Sean here on this front stretch.
Yeah, one little slip up, it cost 2-3 tenths right there. That happens again, it's going to put Sean right on the bumper of this 98.
Now 0.6. He is in a stronger draft of Andrew Teft. Now at 5, now 0.6 of a second back. He is going to, Sean just a little bit behind on the braking zone there. He's going to give away a couple of tenths in that braking as Andrew driving that car hard in. This is going to be another hard right-hander. The exit going to be so crucial here as Andrew's able to push back a couple of tenths further, as we're going to see Honeycutt's going to come around here very soon, and you will see that 3 to go start to click over on our tower. Now that breathing room up to about 0.9, so it is a little over a second now.
It looks like Andrew's able to drive the car a little bit deeper into the corners than what Sean is able to. That really helps him extend that by a couple of tenths here and there.
We do show Truth Hoke as an off track, but it does look like he is back on and running without any damage. All right, this lead now still at 0.8. He just cannot shake Sean.
I was just trying to keep himself in the fight in case Andrew makes one more mistake.
Well, I'll tell you now, it does look like Andrew has been able to get out over a second. Now he's going to come into this super hot and again having to slow down a little bit further than you want to see. Oh, and he's going to get sideways and have to check up. That turn really creating problems for Andrew right now. And he is going to come around. We have 3 laps to go. Again, this your battle for 3rd place. Sean Dunaway being in the podium position the majority of this race, having an accident with about 11 laps to go and having to fight his way back. As you can see the front end damage on that Hello Kitty car allowed Andrew Teft to get around. And just like we talked about when we were going through these drivers, Russ, Andrew sees a little bit of blood in the water and he is going to start attacking, and that's exactly what he done. You are going to have to tear this podium position away from this driver.
Yeah, absolutely. We've said it time and time again. He's methodical. He pays attention, and yeah, he's like a shark. Maybe that could be his new nickname for us, is the Shark, because he sees that one little opportunity, that one little speck of blood, and man, he just starts to attack.
Man, really doing a fantastic job down this heavy braking zone. He's going to get a little counter steery there, and that is going to allow Sean to check back up into about 0.3. And the race is on, folks, here. 3 laps to go. Andrew giving it everything he has. You can see the rear end hanging out on that car as he goes around these turns. Sean Dunaway just trying to be nice and smooth and allow Andrew to make those mistakes.
Trying to keep that pressure on him.
Andrew, a fantastic exit there is going to give himself just a little bit of breathing room. Back up now to about 7/10 of a second. Sean just trying to run inside of himself. I believe your faster car at this point is that 98 machine. It's just going to be minimizing the mistakes. And here we go as we come down to this left-hander. We've got to see as we come down this forest chute, this is going to be the turn that has been causing Andrew all of his problems. Andrew showing a lot of discipline this time around. I don't believe that that is, and he's still going to wiggle just a little bit. Now that lead up to down to about 4/10. It's going to be under 4/10 as Sean is going to come around. If he can get a good exit, he is going to be right on the bumper. And you see Sean did not get those tires off of that berm this time. So he's going to be able to drag race right up to the back of Andrew Teft. 4/10, now under 4/10. Oh, Sean is going to overshoot that turn 1 as he's going to try to catch up just a little bit. And I believe that is going to end his opportunity to catch Andrew Teft.
It was a great battle there for quite a few laps. Sean not trying not to give it up, but I think he just gave that up right there.
Just one little slip up, one little mistake. It was going to be who was going to break first. It does look like Sean in that 01 is going to be the first one to break. Just trying to get into that turn a little bit harder than what he normally does to put more pressure on the back end of Andrew. And it's going to cost him as he's going to have to get that thing off into the sand trap, slow down, back on the track. That gap now up to 4 seconds. So I think if Andrew just hits his marks, he is going to be just fine. As now we're going to come back to Brandon Honeycutt, who is now going to take that white flag, Russ, one more lap around Road America. It has been long. It has been a chore to drive these Xfinity cars around, but this gentleman has done it better than everybody else tonight.
Yeah, 100%. He's just been really smooth with it, with his throttle inputs. He's been smooth with the steering. He's just been smooth all race long. We've seen very, very little mistakes out of him all night long. A 28-second lead over P2 at Truth Hope clearly shows that he was in the dominant car all night long.
We are going to go back. We've got just a little bit of time. You can see the rear end of Honeycutt's car. I just want to go back and see if he had some incident where he backed that thing into a wall, and it looks like he just went off track there. I'm not sure where that rear end damage come from, but you can see the rear end of that 13 machine all wrinkled up. I don't see anything here on our timing tower, so let's see if we can find it right here. As now we're going to get to this really quickly. Oh, he did slide that thing around.
Oh, he did spin it right around. That's the first time we've seen him actually have a full-on incident all race long.
Wow, he almost gave this race away as now he's going to continue to slide around the turns as he's now going to take this right-hander. And I believe now he is just giving it everything he has to show off this pretty dominant win that he has. And he's going to come down this long straightaway. Now, we got to watch this. This has been the nemesis of every one of these Xfinity drivers tonight.
I was just going to say, it's not over until it's over, and I wouldn't be hot dogging it right now because, you take a shot right now on the white flag lap, and you nose that thing into the wall and blow that motor. Oh, my goodness.
That would just give you nightmares, I believe, for the rest of your sim racing career. As now he is going to take this final right-hand turn, and he can slow down as much as he wants here as he comes out. This 13 car must have a little bit of damage on that back end that's creating some of that slippage, but put this driver back into victory lane. This will be the 3rd win for him so far in this Xfinity series. He is going to carry your points lead into your chase of 4 races coming up Congratulations, Brandon Honeycutt.
Great win by him. Dominant race all night long. All deserved win by him as we see him back in victory lane once again on a road course.
Truth Hoke, do not take anything away from this gentleman. Drove a fantastic race, going to bring himself home in second position. Great job to Truth Hoke. And this driver, not just a product of fortune, but has drove his way up to the top three. Now a 5.5 second gap back to Sean. Sean trying to put up the best fight that he could, but this driver just too fast at the end.
Yeah, I had that one little slip up there with 2 to go, and let Andrew get away. It's allowed Andrew to really, slow himself down. Really make sure he's making his corners. He's not getting too loose, not getting too pushy. Just allowed Andrew to kind of walk away with this podium here tonight.
And here he comes down this front stretch. Another podium finish for Andrew Teft, your owner here for Racers Elite in this Xfinity Series. Another podium. A great job by that driver. Honeycutt, Hoke, Teft, your top three. As you can see, all kinds of drivers sliding around. Looks like Brandon Honeycutt still happy about this win. I don't believe he's done celebrating until the gas runs out or that engine blows up.
After a night like tonight and the things that we saw, yeah, I'd be making the most out of this win.
I will tell you, put this gentleman on the map for one of those drivers you have to watch out for in these road course races, as he has proven not only in the trucks there at Lime Rock, but in these Xfinity cars here at Road America, that he is one of your stronger drivers, and you better pencil it into that's the guy you're going to have to beat coming forward into any of these road course races.
100%, absolutely. He's a threat anywhere you go, and especially with these road course races. But yep, outstanding job by him tonight. Outstanding job by Truth Hope. Like you said, don't take anything away from him. Had a fantastic run all race long. Kept it up there on the podium for most of this race. Job well done for him. And then Andrew Teft again. He taking advantage of a bad situation and finding himself up on the podium again here tonight too.
Yeah, fantastic job by him. So let's run down your finishing order, and then we will get some interviews here with a couple of your podium finishers. Brandon Honeycutt, again, your winner. Truth Hoke in second. Andrew Teft in third. Sean Dunaway fourth. Lee Campbell is in fifth. Aaron Roth in sixth. Seventh is Jesse Fox. Eighth is Ryan Coker. And then Kirby Wainscott in ninth. Cody Bonelli is going to round out your top 10.
Cooper going to bring it home in P11. Sean Merriman in 12th. Aaron and Matthew are going to round out your field here tonight, having some problems early on.
So there you have it. That is your final order. That is an official race result here at Road America in the Xfinity Series. So let's see if now we can go back and get some of your drivers. And let's see if we've got anybody in the waiting room. We do have your third place driver in the waiting room, and that is going to be Andrew Teft. So let me see if I can get Andrew Teft. We're going to go back just a little bit, and we're going to focus in on this car so we can get some fantastic pictures of it. And let me call him up to the booth. Andrew, it's John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, that had to be an exhausting about an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes here at Road America. First thing is, how tough were these cars? We hopped on board with a couple of the drivers here, and it just seemed like this car was just really tough to manage, especially under braking in some of those downhill sections.
Yeah, I was wanting to downshift kind of early to help with the braking, but it would really upset the car, so it was like you had to wait until the revs were pretty low to downshift, and then probably just wind up using more brake and tires heat up, and it's easy to spin them trying to get up to speed at the start of those long straights and use up the rubber, and it gets pretty loose toward the end. Yeah, it's probably spot on, just braking issues overall.
Yeah, I think we saw quite a few drivers, especially, when that change of elevation would hit, it was really difficult. But you made a really aggressive move there in the beginning, first couple of laps when that green flag dropped. Great moves, putting yourself up, and then slid back just a little bit. And then it looked like you just really caught your rhythm throughout that race. And worked your way all the way back up, got past Lee and I believe Cooper there, and then did you ever on that last stint? Did you ever consider not taking any tires and just fuel only?
Thought about it, but I was really only racing my teammate Sean there, unless one of those guys up front spun out or something. So thought if in order to have a shot, it felt like I needed to have four, but there wasn't really a ton of fall off either. It was easier to spin out on old tires, but it didn't really seem to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, that's what we noticed here. I think the first 5 laps with fresh tires was really quick, and then they just kind of seemed to level off. But and then the last question I have, so obviously, Sean getting loose there at one of those heavy braking zones, that thing just cutting right hard and going right into that inside retaining wall gave you just what you need there for a heck of a battle toward the end until Sean looked like he just overdrove it a little bit going into turn one. But man, I mean, I bet when you saw that, it was really just keeping yourself focused because Sean was really putting some pressure on the back end of you. So just walk me through that last few laps.
Yeah, we were pretty even the whole race. I felt like I was chasing him down for like 30 laps, and he finally made a mistake. I made a couple also along the way, so we were kind of going back and forth on the time there. But yeah, once he overshot turn one there, I just had to hit my marks, and I think we had like a couple laps to go and a 4-second lead at that point. So just told myself to chill out and stay on the track.
Well, there you did, and you're going to bring home yet another podium finish to this season. Been a very successful Xfinity season for you going into the chase here. 4 races to go that I believe are going to be some strong suits for you. I believe we've got Dover and Nashville Fairgrounds, Daytona, and then we're going to wrap this thing up with your 4th race. So, how do you feel going into the chase? And then we'll just turn it over to you, Andrew. Let you give your shout outs.
Um, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I've had some speed recently for some reason. Not sure what I changed or anything, but kind of comes and goes. So just gonna ride it while it's here. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on the show and toughing out the longer broadcast tonight, and our servicemen and women, everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race. Congrats to Brandon, and I want to thank my family, my team. If anybody's interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find all of our schedules, standings, Discord invites, the whole 9 yards there.
Yeah, well, congratulations on a top 3 finish tonight, and we will be right back at you tomorrow night in that next gen where you're going to tackle Phoenix. So, congratulations, and we'll get you back down to your teammates.
Yeah, you should come on out and join us.
I might do that. All right,
Thanks, guys.
thanks, Andrew. All right, so there is your 3rd place driver of Andrew Teft. Now, I am going to pull up for you, Russ, Truth Hoax. So if you give me just a second, I will see if I can grab him out of the waiting room, and you can take care of his interview. And here he comes, Truth. This is John and Russ in the booth. Truth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Truth, man, it's been quite a few times there that we've been wanting to talk to you, and you've been up front, quite a bit. We talk about you all the time, running up front, being consistent, but every now and again, you just have those little slight issues that have kind of cost you a podium spot. So it's good to finally talk to you. Take us back through your race and tell us what do you think the key was tonight for you to be able to hold on and finish in second tonight?
Just running my race, and I messed up once out spun to let Sean get by me, and he done the same thing. I got by him. I just run my race and praying. You know? Don't mess up pit road. That's been my Achilles heel.
Yeah, for sure. We saw a lot of guys having problems tonight, and that's what I kept saying throughout the whole broadcast was, the drivers that could really eliminate the problems throughout, are going to be the ones that are going to have the good finish. We didn't really see you have too many issues. Obviously Brandon Honeycutt didn't have many issues at all. So it was a good night all in all. Were there any spots that you really found on track to be more difficult than others? I know we saw a couple of the corners that were really really wreaking havoc with some drivers tonight. But did you really find yourself having issues anywhere specific on track?
Just about the only one was uphill turn. You go under the bridge, take a left. That was the roughest one.
Oh, okay,
Easy.
we got you.
It was easy to spin out there.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we noticed a lot of drivers were having problems with the that downhill left-hander there, and then the right-hander coming down onto that final straightaway before coming out onto the front stretch. But yeah, man, you had a great race. You kept that car clean for the whole thing, and well deserving of this podium top two finish. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to you. Let you give your shout outs.
I thank you. I'd like to thank my wife for this, my team, the Misfits with Troy and Jesse and Andrew put it on, and you guys broadcast. Can't wait to watch it back tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks,
All
Truth.
right,
We
man.
we certainly appreciate that, man, and fantastic job tonight. P2, and we're going to get you back down and let you celebrate with your team.
I thank you. You have a good one.
All right, thanks, Truth.
Thanks, Drew.
All right, so Russ, man, it was it might not have had the most excitement tonight for us here in the booth, but I can tell you these are always exciting to me because there's a lot of strategy that goes in. We saw some pit road issues. We saw a lot of difficulty in some of these turns, just like True talked about going under the bridge, and then as we saw some of those harder braking zones for us. So I think overall, man, you gotta love tonight, especially going into these next four races here for the chase.
Yeah, we saw it last night with the trucks and finishing up their regular season on the dirt, and now tonight the Xfinity finishing up their regular season on the road course here at Road America. It's interesting how Andrew and the whole Racers Elite team come up with these schedules, and they definitely make it different than a lot of other places. They just kind of stick to the normal cutoff races, but it sure was a lot of fun to call tonight. Like you said, we saw a couple of trouble areas here and there, but for the most part, these guys put on a great show for us tonight here at Road America, and looking forward to getting these chase races started next week.
Yeah, I can't wait either. And so that puts the truck series in the books and get them ready for the chase. And that also puts this Xfinity series in the books and ready for the chase. So this is Russ and John again. We will be back with you next week on Monday or on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, where we are going to start our chase in season 6. And again, just like Andrew said there, if you have any interest in running with us here at Racers Elite, please go to our Facebook page, our website. You can also message us here on YouTube, and we will get you taken care of. Andrew will put you right in as season 7 is already started. The schedules are out. We are taking registrations for those, so get in while you can. Russ, it was a fantastic job, and I'll let you sign us off.
Yes, sir. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night.